All right, we just picked up 4 more games on this journey to collect every NES game out there. So as always, let's dig through these games and see what they are and chat it up. All right, let's get started in alphabetical order as always. Amagon. Yeah, so I guess we got picked up about 50 or 60 games so far. Got about, what, 620 to go? Yeah, this is going to take a long time. But yeah, 4 game pickup off of eBay. Amagon picked it up and played it first try. It's a pretty clean label, which is actually kind of nice. Cleaner in my hands. I've been gardening now. It's my God, my hands are gross. But yeah, I played it. Was fired up first try, and I will say I actually like this game a lot. I think this is probably one of those games that's probably rated right around. I guess if you did a top 1 out of 677, this probably be right around in the 400 to 500 range, maybe 300 to 400, somewhere in the middle, lower tier. And I can see why, but personally, I played it and I enjoyed it a lot. It's a one-hit kill. It is a very unforgiving game, but you can get little items to where he actually gets buffed up like this, and you can take more damage and all that stuff, which is cool. But I liked it because there's no timer. Like it wasn't like a Mario stretcher where like you had to kind of race your way through and kind of keep moving all that stuff. Like if you wanted to just kind of pause and look at an enemy and kind of gauge his movements and all that stuff, you could do that. There was no timer, and I also like the fact that you kind of had a limited amount of ammo. Like I think I can't remember how many rounds I had, but I remember I started like blasting a bunch of people over and over again. I ran out of ammo, and the guy would take his little rifle and he just start swinging it as a weapon, which I thought was pretty crazy, and I quickly died after that. But yeah, I really kind of dig the no timer. The one hit kills was obviously pretty rough, but I enjoy that because I kind of paced myself, and it felt rewarding to get through the level. It was. I thought the controls were actually really smooth. People complained like the jumping and like the shooting was kind of, I guess maybe not smooth. I thought all that stuff was really smooth. I thought it was kind of strange because like you'd have to shoot like a little bouncing mushroom like 3 times to kill it, which I thought was a little strange. It was a little redundant, but like a lot of the things you kill were like, 1 shot, 2 shot kills, and I thought it was pretty smooth in that regard. I actually liked this game a lot. The fun factor of it was really high. It was challenging. I enjoyed getting past the first level. It was hard to get past the first level. It made me scared to get to the second level, and made me scared to kind of get close to the guys and shoot them and save my ammo and take my time. And all in all, I thought it was actually a really good game. And I would have personally rated this game a lot higher than I guess what the collective audience would put it at. But Amagon, if that's what it's even pronounced, picked it up and I really liked it. So yeah, let's move on. I mean, there's certainly a lot of Nintendo games out there that aren't very good, and I'm gonna have to collect all those too. But I don't think Amagon was one of them. But what do we got? Pro Wrestling picked it up. It came in the same eBay auction. All 4 games. It actually was. It was actually really cheap. I think it was $24 with tax and shipping for the 4 games, which I thought was pretty crazy. So the buyer ended up making like $5-8. But Pro Wrestling put it in, worked first try, and yeah, I thought it was pretty smooth. I played this briefly when I was a kid. I'm not sure which wrestling game I played. I think I played this one and another one. And I thought this one was actually pretty good considering it was one of the older ones. So I think you have to kind of grade on a curve a little bit. I thought it was good, and like, because I remember one wrestling game I played, I can't remember which one it was, but like all the hits and the kicks were like identical from like each wrestler. And like this one, each like wrestlers seem to have unique strikes and movements, which I know for sure wasn't in all the NES games back at this time. And this one looked to be one of the older ones, so I thought this one may come out as one of the better wrestling games. I have no idea. I'm going based on my own experiences, but I thought this game was probably pretty good for its age when it came out. It was a little cheesy. The graphics were a little bland. The controls was maybe a little repetitive, but they were kind of all that way. But I did, as far as replayability, I did not enjoy it for very long. I kind of got bored with it, and it was pretty redundant with the kicking and punching and all that stuff. And I ended up doing like the same little attack over and over again, where I like scratched his face or scratch his hair or something like that. It was like the only thing that really worked, and I thought it was kind of cheesy, and I was just kind of cheesing the guy over and over again until the match was over and moved on. But so I thought the game was okay, and it wasn't terrible, but I thought it was actually a fairly smooth wrestling game. But yeah, Pro Wrestling, we can cross it off the list and move on. King's Knight. Yeah, I just realized this was supposed to come before Pro Wrestling if I'm doing this in alphabetical order, but it is what it is. Yeah, King's Knight picked it up, played first try. I'm having a lot of good luck with games just playing first try. I think I've had 1 game or 2 games out of like 50 that I bought that didn't work. But yeah, so I mean, it shows how durable these things are. But King's Knight played it, and yeah, I really did not like it. It was kind of the straightforward shooting game, kind of the overhead shooting, but it was not as nearly as much fun as a lot of the other shooting games like Gradius or Life Force or I try to think of the other games, but yeah, it was not. It was bad just because it felt slow, but it was bad because it was extremely redundant. You would shoot at like mountains and all that stuff. I don't even know what they were, but you'd shoot through them and kind of pave a way to kind of get yourself space and all that stuff, which I guess was kind of semi enjoyable. But the attack, the enemies were a little bit too similar, a little too consistent. Your risks of getting hits were coming from the same type of environments that got really repetitive and didn't really seem to change from one level to the next. I only made it through the first 2 levels, and it was pretty much some of the same, other than some drastic different colors and scenery. But other than that, I was pretty much doing the same thing. So I really, yeah, I did not like this game much at all. I don't know where it's rated, but I would imagine it's pretty low. And if it is, I think it deserves that spot. But yeah, King's Knights, I really, really did not like it. But I had to pick it up because I don't own the game, but I do now. But yeah, King's Knight, we can cross it off the list and let's move on. I actually got some more eBay orders actually coming. Actually, one's going to show up tomorrow, I think. So I actually got some more videos that are going to actually come a little quicker this time. There was a little dry spell there where I wasn't able to get much games. But last game, Solar Jetman. Played it, had to clean it a little bit. Nice little clean label. I'm digging these clean labels. Some of these labels look really destroyed, and obviously some of these look nice. And I'm obviously like now trying to find the labels that look clean. It just looks a lot cleaner in your collection than having something that's completely scratched off. But this looks pretty clean. 1985. This game was not 1985. A lot of you say 1985. It was after, right? I think. I'm not 100%. Pretty sure, though. Yeah, obviously. But yeah, Solar Jetman, put it in, played it, and yeah, I actually enjoyed it. It is hard. If you guys don't know what it's about, so you're obviously flying around in like a zero gravity space, and you got to pick up little pieces of your craft, and you got to get some fuel, and you got to take the fuel of your craft and piece it together. And the challenge is not fighting aliens or monsters or anything like that. The challenge is basically fighting gravity because you don't have any. And in that regard, it was really hard, and I actually did like that. It was a little addicting, which I guess it was kind of designed that way, and obviously that was the goal of it. But yeah, it was very unforgiving. It was very frustrating because if you overcorrected a little bit too much, you just pay the price, and you had to be very careful with that. And I thought I was more of a particular, I don't know how to word this correctly, a player who could handle that better than most. Maybe I felt like I was doing a fairly decent job, but I was still struggling a lot. But I could see others struggling, and my kids played it, and they struggled really bad. But yeah, you really had to be careful at how you control every little move, every little angle, whatever. You'd have to kind of calculate and time it out and all that stuff. And I actually thought that was pretty enjoyable. I mean, the graphics were pretty bland, and there's not obviously much of a story and all that stuff, but the actual enjoyment factor and the frustration factor, I would say, was fairly high in that regard. But yeah, Solar Jetman, I thought this was a game that I enjoyed a lot more, which was actually pretty cool, because I think my last video or whatever, the video before, I think I got like 3 out of the 4 games are just like, nah, they're not very good at all. But I had never played any of these games except for the pro wrestling, so I was actually really happy with this game and happy with the Amagon. But yeah, I got, 615 more games to go? I have no idea, but we have a long ways to go, and I'm probably doing this for another 5 years. Hopefully it doesn't cost me a marriage or a bankruptcy, but yeah, we're in a long ways to go. But as always, guys, thanks for watching, and yeah, there's going to be a lot more videos of this because I have a long ways to go, and I'm pretty hard-headed with completing something that I already started, so I don't really have much of a choice but to yeah, get at this. But as always, guys, thanks for watching, and I will talk to you guys later.